Okay, perfect. So, as we normally do, let's go through our fundamental analysis. Hey AJ, welcome to the show. I'm guessing Malvi wasn't able to hear me earlier, but welcome. Welcome, guys. It's been a while. I hope you guys had an eventful week. I mean, we had quite the eventful weekend, but as we always do with the show, we start with our fear and greed index. We are currently at a 30. So, compared to, we're basically where we were last week, which is interesting given just the amount of volatility we had, which was just up, down, up, down. But being at 30 is interesting because typically when you are in fear, it's a pretty decent time to buy, but we'll see if our the rest of our fundamentals and technicals agree with this, or if we want to plunge back to extreme fear. Looking at the liquidation heat map, let's go to the one liquidation levels. The one day doesn't really look that good. I mean, you have liquidity stacked to both sides. You have lots of leverage over here on the long side as well as the short side. It is quite big, or rather it is bigger on the long side, so there is a greater chance that we can like maybe short scalp this down. And then here on the 7 day, it's more biased towards the upside. So I'm guessing at the start of this week, sort of like last week, we are going to get some drops or maybe drawdown, and then we get some sort of recovery moving into the week. Let's go to the 30 day, and it's basically corroborating that sentiment, where you want to head down first and then maybe head up after. Then again, we have been saying that for the past month or so, and there was some truth to that. But given that we are now sub 90k and we're sort of holding our support around 86, it's only really a matter of time before Bitcoin really tells us where we're headed for the month of February. Looking at our 12-hour RSI heat map, we can see that we are headed towards a week, or most of our coins are weak, and there we have some outliers in oversold, such as ARB, ENA, AVAX, CRV, and we can see that sort of your bigger cap coins like BTC, Solana are also in the week. SWI is also headed towards week. Trump, all these coins are in week. So that tells us that by RSI standards, we do want to maybe go take some longs. Now, if we look at the liquidation heat map, and here I've booted up the 48-hour, we can see that there is a hotspot at around 86,462. If we go to the 3 day, we see that it's basically the same hotspot, and we can see that there are more long liquidations to the downside than there are shorts. Now, if we go to the 1 week, it's also corroborating this level at 86,469. Let's go to the 2 week, if it loads. But the 2 week does think that we're headed up to at least 93,640. So I'm more inclined to set maybe some longs down here at the around this swing low, see where we go from there, and then put our target at around 93,000 and to about 96,000 eventually. If we zoom out to the 1 month, it's not really that clear at the moment. So really the clearest thing we have is 2 weeks and below. So I think that about marks our fundamental analysis. It's telling us there is possibly more downside, and then we get some upside as your liquidation hotspots on the higher time frames are set above. Now let me stop sharing. Oh, hey, stock scalping samurai, welcome. Oh, ooh, ooh. For context, guys, I sort of ran from my car to get here, and then I had to get some water. But let me load up the map. The map trading view, the map. Although you could consider it a map, technically, but that's what it is. Hey, Professor, thank you for making trading. Do you feel like looking at Nasdaq futures and sharing your opinion? Sure. Just tell me which ticker to look at, and I'll have a look. So let me just boot this up. Uh, and maybe let's start with more of the macro. So it's a little confusing. I just booted up my PC right now. Yeah, we made this drawing here. So You know, the 1 week close did close below our trend line, which was holding ever since um when was this? 2023. Granted, we did have one close below it, and you'll notice that this close below led to an engulfing candle, and then we headed up. Now, I'm not saying this is the same thing, but that said, we are sort of near this 3 day buy zone. Notice how our MVP ribbon is still headed towards the downside, so it's really possible we revisit lower levels, maybe down to the previous month low at 83 or 84,000. Now, we did have our our liquidity hotspots pointing us to the top of this 3 day buy zone, which is at around 85,272. So it's really possible you get a nice wick into this region and then start heading back up. Granted, you know, if we start breaking below, let's say, this ascending channel on the 1 week, then we are looking at 69,000 easily as a point of as possibly a point of a bounce, right? Because at this point, I assume that your 200-week moving average will get to this point. So as it stands, your MVP ribbon does say that you want more downside. Let me lock this. You do have decreasing money outflow, but it's still but it's still outflow nonetheless. You are sort of curving a little bit on your CPO plus, so it could be something like this, where you are curving a bit, then you head up. And not to mention, we are approaching our 3 day buy zone. So right now we are in that sort of state of limbo between our moving averages, but because we're above our dynamic reactor, I'm still more inclined to believe that we are going to at least get to our 1 week golden zone. MNQH26 micro Nasdaq. Okay. Yeah, let's look at micro Nasdaq. Let me just see if this is the right template. I guess it's not telling me. Oh, Palantir. Oh no, this is not the right one. Let's do. Is it this one? No. You know what? Let's just use this one. Yeah, this one I get for not being a little bit more organized. Hey Eddie. Hey. Oh, I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm sorry. Feldged? Am I right in pronouncing that? Feldged. Okay. But yeah, welcome to the show, guys. I really did miss you. I have good news. I'm no longer partially deaf, so that's great. That said, it's like slight. It's not really slight. Is it slightly deaf? Wait, this one. Okay. And I don't think. Is this the new template? Let's go one day. But yeah, I'm no longer partially deaf. But there's like this sort of, you know how when there's water stuck in your ear and then you can just like jump and then it gets out of your ear. How I describe it is like there's a little tiny drop that's still like stuck there, so it's not fully good, but it is enough for me to say I'm no longer deaf. Hey Daga, welcome. Oh. So yeah, okay. So as requested, let's have a look on the 1 day. Well, you are above your dynamic reactor. You are above your 200-day moving average. Your MVP ribbon does want to head up, and it is twisting. You did get your hidden bullish div, and you got your ribbon twist, and you have positive inflow plus bullish volume plus bullish trend strength. So I do think you're easily going to get to the neckline at around 26,530 within like maybe 3 days. So today's Tuesday, right? So by the weekend, I think you get here, or even before that. So within the next 3 days, I do think you're going to get to 26,507. I'd set an alert. If you get rejected at this region, then what you're really building at this point would be something like a triangle thing. Yeah, a really big triangle, right? And if you're doing traditional traditional just projections of an ascending triangle, which is bullish because you get um, higher lows, and you're basically testing the the resistance at the top, which should theoretically break. You do get a projection to about 29,459. Now I don't know if you're gonna get to that point, right? Because that's a huge jump from where you are right now. Talking about an 11% jump, which I'm not sure it can do that, but you never know. So personally, I just set an alert 26,491 and at 26,656, see what happens within this tiny range on the 1 day. If you get rejected here, then you can short it down to the trend line. So wherever that might be, so just boot it up on your chart, draw the trend line, right? And then if it does break, wait for the retest. So wait for the retest on the resistance, and then if it bounces off of it, then you can take a long. So yeah, that's how I would look at it. Because your CPO plus does say you want to head up, right? This tells you, yay, we're going up. Wee. So head up, but you are gonna face resistance on momentum. So yeah. All right. Let's look at some of our other coins. I see. Oh, never mind. Let's look at Ethereum. See how Ethereum's doing. Looks like Ethereum's doing okay on the. Ooh. Oh. Oh, we don't talk about render. Oh man, still in that trade. How's Tao doing? Oh, Tao's still okay. Okay. Let's look at Ethereum on a maybe higher time frame first. But damn, this is 15 minutes before market open, and we're getting some moves. Sorry, but oh, hey McBain, it's been a while. Welcome. Uh, I had ear infections in both ears, and I still have hearing loss in both ears. Thanks for your help. That was great. Oh, oh no, I read that as thanks for giving me the ear infection. But okay. Yeah. Anyways, that's terrible. I'm glad that you're no longer a kid and it passed. So. Oh, you still have hearing. Oh, that's terrible. Um. The. I don't know how like hearing loss works just yet. Well, I mean I experienced it, but I knew mine was temporary. Uh, but you get hearing aids if that's the case. But yeah, you're very welcome for micro Nasdaq. Yeah, you can tell that the weariness of studying for law aptitude exams is getting to me, and I still have like a few readings to read for my. I don't even know what I have for tomorrow. I'll just look at it later. Yeah, hi McBain. Anyways, looking at Ethereum. Yeah. You know, I was so afraid that I was yelling at people that I would just speak. But then because I was partially deaf, like the voice was just reverberating back into my head. So I thought I was like speaking very loudly. But then no one could hear what I was saying. It was a surreal experience. But anyways, going back to the charts, let's get a little bit uh back into the game here. Now 1 hour does look pretty decent. You got a nice reversal, so this could have easily keeled over, right? But you are showing some strength by engulfing this candle right here and just headed back up. You can tell that that was very abrupt on the CPO plus, and even for your MVP ribbon, that was quite abrupt. So very interesting. But if we go to our higher time frames, then this is why you should be doing a multi-time frame analysis with a shorter and longer time frame, or higher time frame and a lower time frame. Your 12-hour did transition. Your MVP ribbon is trying to transition, and you have a target to about $3,000 at equilibrium. So it does look like the Ethereum wants to head up. Now, is it possible that we get rejected at this point? Absolutely. It's possible we get rejected at the retest of our change of character at 3050, right? But that said, notice right now that your reactors are so close to each other on the 12th hour. Now the rule is that the dynamic reactor, to be bullish, has to be above your quantum reactor and turn green. So it's very possible that you get to this point, price action just gets through the reactors without any real difficulty, and then you'd have a bullish cross before you get an official bullish cross. Oh, hey Jat and Jag, it's been a while. How long has it been? I don't think I saw you last week, but I'm doing better. I don't have hearing loss anymore from my ear infection, so I think that's quite the leap, I'd say. So, doing better. How about you? Yeah, let's look at Solana. While we're just socializing, we have 10 minutes before market open, so not liking this wick here on the 5 minutes. You can see we got to the quantum reactor and failed to break through. If we bounce off of this, that is an argument that we're going to get back up, but then looks like we're not bouncing off it. So not sure about that. Granted, your MVP ribbon is getting above that fluid zero line, and I mean, all things considered, your CPO plus does say you want to head up. Looking at Solana here, kind of missed our entry actually. I didn't even realize it got down to 117. It missed our entry at 115. That said, if we go oversold again on the hourly, I probably enter there. So it could be at this FEG at 120, but we'll have to see. Very likely, with Ethereum and Solana, you did get basically a strong reversal on the hourly, right? So clearly this was a continuation to the downside, but it's still possible, right? Unlike Ethereum, which really engulfed the last candle, Solana didn't really engulf the last candle just yet. So it's possible that it's just Ethereum who's doing it and the rest aren't going to follow. But so far I'm liking the odds of potentially headed up in the stream. But our fundamental analysis is keeping us grounded because it's showing that there are more longs right now on your 1 day than there are shorts. So market makers will probably want to take out those longs first. But only time will tell. Actually, time will tell in 8 minutes. Back now will be... Oh. Well, welcome back. I see. Well, I hope you get a lot of value out of these live sessions. I know Runaire's also starting live sessions as well. I wasn't able to drop by for his first one. I really wish I did, but I was driving at the time. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I'll probably drop by this week. Anyways, let's look at Tau. It's one of our only open trades at the moment alongside Render, and it's doing much better. Let's go to a lower time frame to actually figure out what's going on here. So we were in drawdown for a couple hours, but looks like we're okay. Now this is what I was saying about how our reactors are really close to price action right now. You can see that if we are able to hold this line and bounce off it rather than falling through, and you have your CPO plus like this ready to head up, then you're very likely going to get past the quantum reactor here on the 1 hour, retest or test this liquidity block and dynamic reactor, and head on up. It's also fascinating that now we have the 12 hours saying that we've got a bullish divergence. And we have at least a chick magnet at our first take profit and break even point. So for me, Tau looks like it's ready to head up. So I'm not too worried about Tau for now. And we have 7 minutes before market open. Yeah, I do think that. So, before we do get to 135, 145, actually, I don't think we ever got there. We got close to it, but I do get what you mean. Like, we are going to go there. And again, overall, I am bullish. I don't think that's a fact I try to hide. So, for anyone who maybe got the wrong idea, overall, I am bullish. I did say that it's possible we continue to head to this 1 week retracement, which starts at 147,000, right? Your 1 week retracement puts you here, and I think this is a really probable place to close 2026 or 2027 even. But in any case, right? First things first, we need to know what's going to happen at 108k, I think. This is the 1 week golden zone. If we don't break the 1 week golden zone and retest that previous quarter high, then we can basically say that we're going to range between 103 and 69 until we decide where to go. If we do break the previous quarter high after having retested that 1 week golden zone, right? And excuse me, I forgot to put my iPad on Do Not Disturb. My bad. uh, then you are going to get to the 1 week retracement, which is what Jad and Jaggy was saying, like 135 to 145. Now, this 1 week retracement is a very big region, right? But it's important to understand that when we get to this point, as Bitcoin's in price discovery, literally anything can happen. So we have to be very prepared if we get here, right? Because right now it's not a foregone conclusion technically. But yeah, I do agree that it's just support resistance metrics and fibs. Let's see who else is in. Hey Vamshi, welcome. Okay, so 4 minutes before market open, let's have a look at SWE. SWE is also one of those that got really close to entry, 1.37. Ours, I believe, was at 1.32. It's like over here by the discount. I mean, it's all possible you head down, right? It's not a foregone conclusion that you're going to head up fully. Same with Pengu. But I kind of want to review this if this is actually the best or what actually happened. Now, we can also look at gold while waiting, because we can trade gold now. Not exactly the thing I envisioned, right? But if you get support here at your POC, and then you're likely going to head up because gold has just been on a roll. And notice how if we did not have access to our money flow indicator right here, we just think, oh, this is headed down, so we're gonna go short, right? But your money flow is saying that there's more money flowing in. You still have good volume, so I do think you still head up. Granted, I really want gold to basically fall, because notice the last time it fell out of your fluid zero line, it dropped significantly. I mean, let's see here, that was a 5.8% drop, and from that point we also were able to get it to the lower extremity for the first time in a long time, and you could have taken a long at that point. right? And if you did take the long at that point, as you dropped to the lower extremity and started building support, I mean, that was an 18% pump or 19% pump on gold. So yeah, just waiting for it to sort of make its move. Again, I do think you head up, it will defy the CPO plus a little bit for direction, but not that long, and then just continue heading down, or it will head down. See who else is in the show. Hey, Gur, welcome. So there's about 2 minutes on the clock before we're able to see what the market has in store for us today. So again, uh, actually, yeah, I do want to note that today's gonna be a 1 hour 30 minute stream. Then tomorrow's gonna be a 2 hour stream. Uh, so yeah. Yeah, I agree. I do think that 100K is going to be really difficult. We're going to get rejected quite a few times. It's psychological. But is there a is there a vested interest by treasuries and different companies for Bitcoin to go beyond 100K? Absolutely. Right. They're unlike they definitely won't let Bitcoin go down to 20K, because then they'll lose like what, 75%, maybe more of their initial investment, right? And market makers know that, so they're going to basically just shake out as much people as possible. This is what we had pre 126K on Bitcoin. All right, so it's 10:30 officially. Let's check out what's happening. Um, so we are dumping a little bit, right? Let's go 1 hour. But let's see what the move really is. XMR, sure. Let's have a look. XMR. Okay. 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 Let's see here. Well, from a more immediate short term, I where did you long? If Jack and Jackie, where did you long? 468. Okay, that's pretty far. But what I'm worried about is, I mean, if you zoom out and you just grab a parallel channel, at least just on the 1 hour, I mean that looks like an ascending channel. And even if, I mean, it's, you could argue that it's not technically a perfect fit, but even if it's not a parallel channel, if you get trend lines and just draw from here to here, right? You have a rising wedge. So by classic is it classical theory, or like by traditional theory, you are more likely to fall than you are to go up. So if you draw like this, then that is a bear flag on the 1 hour. And I mean, comparing that to other coins, you can see it's not technically the case. For example, on ETH, it looks more like a descending wedge, but here that looks like a rising wedge on the 1 hour. Uh, on top of that, your CPO plus does say you want some downside, and your MVP ribbon, while it does say you're overly bullish, it doesn't mean that it's not going to correct. So while you're at 474, if you didn't put down much, I would just put your stop loss to break even, because for me, this is more likely to break to the downside. The fact that you are getting rejected at this resistance right here, just like two candles rejected followed by a big candle, and now you got back to that point, but you're getting rejected, that signals possible downside for me. What's funny though is 468 would be where the trend line is. So if anything, if things go south, you could probably just re-enter, right? If it does bounce off the trend line, you could probably just re-enter again. So safe move, just put your stop loss to break even, go zero risk, and yeah. Look at the 4 hours, sure. Mm. Okay. Okay, I see what you mean. This is a bearish cross. Let's hold on. Let's look at the 12-hour. Okay, here's one thing I am slightly worried about. So your 4 hour does look good. I'll give you that. Right? And I did say it's possible you could bounce off of the flag thing on the 1 hour. Right? And like I've said before, these are all just sections of a book. Right? And we're basically trying to understand the whole narrative from the different chapters that we're reading. So your 12-hour does say that you want to head up, which is good. But notice that, like our analysis earlier, there's potential that you could head down. You could continue heading down. So right now it's sort of in this weird limbo thing, right? Your MVP ribbon, you got bottoming bars, and clearly they worked up to this point, right? I mean, you got up, but the fact that your MVP ribbon is still saying it wants to head down, hasn't really curved, that kind of tells me that you could still fall down here and then get to this point, previous week low, bounce off it, then continue heading up. Granted, it does help that, you have a chick magnet pointing you upward, so it does say that the downward move is exhausted and you want some upside. So overall, if I zoom out to the 1 day, yeah, I mean, oh wait, I mean, it is starting to get exhausted, the move to the downside, but it's still possible. Just, I mean, 1 day bottoming bars. So for now, if we're looking at it micro of 472.92, if we're looking at it from a micro perspective, so 5 minutes, 1 hour, probably close. But then I do think the idea to long was correct, just not right now, if that makes sense. Yeah, no problem. Thank you as well. I'll probably put this on my radar. Uh, so one day I'll just set an alert by the previous week low. Look for the same topping signals on silver gold, like yeah. That's sort of also what I'm looking for right now. I don't know if we get that wick, but it would make sense, right? Like, call me crazy, but if you get a wick like this from here to here, that tells me okay, you can head down. And I mean, look at the Elliott wave targets for gold. It's saying like 4645, 618, or 4357, right? So I want that topping wick for gold. So silver, I don't think has it yet. Yeah, it would have been nice to short silver, or maybe this could have been it. Let me pull out the 12 hour. I mean, it tried. But yeah, going back to XMR, I'm setting an alert right here. Possible place to enter. And down here as well. Just to cover our basis. It would have been nice if we saw this earlier because we'd be like, oh, FVG right here on the one day. Yeah, the Elliott wave indicator. Yeah, the targets for the Elliott wave on gold. So this Elliott wave indicators by TradingView. So if you have the premium plan for TradingView, you could just uh, I forget that it's double T. Yeah, this one. So it's by TradingView. Yeah, let me remove this. But yeah. 5-2 seems like a good place for gold to take a pause. Alright, let's go back, see what's up with Bitcoin. And hopefully we get a scalp tonight. Or this morning. Let me see who else is in chat. Oh, same crowd. So we did dump back to 87, 748. So support line. So a dump on market open, but potentially a pump soon. Granted, I mean, just look at your 1 day MVP ribbon. It does say you should probably dump, or you should probably short, or it will continue going to the downside. I mean, same thing with Ethereum. It lost that engulfing. So this does look more like a topping signal, and then you head back down. Same thing with Solana. So it looks like we'll get our Solana entry. For Tau, let's see if we bounce off the FVG at the most traded point. Then again, I do think we at least stop at 214 and head up. So I'll leave Tau be. Let's look at Ondo. Wonder how Ondo's doing. Oh yeah, a potential target for Ondo. Another one. I actually might call this tonight. We'll have to see because the money flow is significant. Money outflow is significantly decreasing on the 1 day. So this does strike me as a fairly decent entry. And I mean, if we zoom out to the past, we're really at bear market lows. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, We could, but I think I'm not sure if it, he could, right? But I'm sketched out by the fact that the CPO Plus is near oversold. But I mean, definitely could take the short because you rejected off your reactors here. I think Sui's a. Hold on. Sui might be a better candidate. Maybe you should have been looking at Sui for a short. Same thing. Oh, I have to call render. Doge. XRP. Set an alert for Bitcoin right here. Because it could. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, I realized. Okay. Oopsie. Oh, yeah, no. Ethereum 5 minutes looks nasty. But I am waiting for a retest, potentially. Okay. Yeah, your 4 hour could kill. But it might do something like this. Like a McDonald's. Oh. If you tilt your head, it kind of just looks like someone's mouth. Anyways, definitely something we could do here. Oh, no. Okay, I need to put a band-aid on that later. A potential idea would be like this. Yeah, that looks like a pretty decent idea, considering it's above your POC. Would we want it above the liquidity block? We could. Something like this could also work. Like this. Okay. Let's see if we get a bounce here on the MVP ribbon for Fluid Zero line. If we do, then I'm more inclined to short the 2969 to the like 28. Yeah, this isn't that meaningful. How's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin pushed up. Okay, 10th. Still got 40 minutes on the show, so guess not. Guess that was the. Or not. It's way smaller compared to what Bitcoin's going through. Hold on 1 second, guys. Alright, I'm back. Just grab a hoodie. It's really cold. Hey, little fish. Welcome, welcome. Oh. Why did my camera do that? Yeah, welcome, guys. Good morning. Actually, speaking of morning, I got coffee because I have a couple of readings to read, which I have not, and it's like a 3 hour class tomorrow. So if I don't know anything, I'm kind of screwed. But yeah, morning, guys. Okay. Okay. Honestly, this is just nothing burgers at the moment. There's really, I mean, you got it this move to the downside, but now you're getting a move to the upside. Right before we started the show, right, this whole day we were just stuck in a box. So if I draw this for you guys, let me grab a box. Right. Tuesday, so okay, let's see where 12 is. 12 is somewhere here. But essentially, I mean, we did get some volatility, but really just in a box. Right? This is a continuation from yesterday's move here. We did get down here, fake, and we got back up, and now we're still in a box. We're back where we were just just a couple hours ago. Uh, yeah, 18 hours ago. Yeah, I did say so for those who weren't here earlier that fundamental analysis does tell us that we go down to 86k. Like it's projecting a move down to 86 at least, and then a move back to like 90, 93, 96. But if you close above this candle right here, if you engulf it, then you will still get more upside. If you don't and you close like this, then of course you're gonna get downside. Bearish cross as well here on the 4 hour. But yeah. Let's look at 12 hour. So 12 hour does show some compression here on the CPO plus, right? I mean, it's not that great, but it's like a ooh ooh ooh. And you are getting some sort of twist soon on your MVP ribbon. So again, that does not guarantee that you're just gonna go up straight. It's still possible you head down, back down to maybe this low. Yeah, and notice how it's at 86 or around that range that we spoke about in fundamental analysis. And then you get a target to about 89. So actually, if I pause for a sec on TradingView, go back to our fundamental analysis for those who weren't here earlier, and welcome VBHV to the show. And not sure if I greeted Eddie, but welcome. Uh, let's go down to the 3 day or 48 hour. We can see that the hotspot where there are basically more longs than there are shorts rests at about 86.4, 86.472. But the moment you get to your 2 week, it says that you want to go to 93 to 96. If we go to the liquidation or the leverage map, right, you do have more longs than shorts on the 1 day. So it corroborates the idea that you head down. But then the leverage map is saying you go as far as like 85.5. If you go to the 7 day, that's when it says you go possibly 84. Then the 30 day, it says you want to head up. So I do think leading to the month of February, we're going to get more downside on crypto. And then you get a little bit more upside going into March. I mean, that's at least what the fundamentals are saying, and that's what our charts are also saying from a technical perspective. Now, for those who, sort of fearmonger on X and whatnot, or they say, oh, bull market's over, blah, 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 blah. Oh, Bitcoin's going to zero. I know we joke about it, but like if we're being very honest with ourselves, the same people who are so quick to say Bitcoin's going to zero, just go into gold. Gold and silver are better. are the same people who are just going to get demolished 3 months down the road when liquidity moves into risk on assets. Oh yeah, there aren't any settings. Yeah, so for context, I believe the only setting you have is really just switching from your prime oscillator to MVP oscillator, and you can also do the English. You can also do this. You can also do the same on your prime oscillators Pro Plus. Just switch it over to the MVP. So every setting here is basically for the prime oscillator. It's not for the MVP. So even here, um, so this is for the trend fusion prime oscillator. So there are no settings for your MVP oscillator. It's just stock. Excuse me. Yeah, there was a little birthday earlier, so I got free food. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? This has been a significant part of every stream of mine, so let's do it. So, if you aren't able to catch it here, there is a recorded version on my channel, so it's pinned. It's a YouTube and Google Drive video. But essentially, let's remove this first, because our fluid zero line is actually a separate indicator. But we've essentially pegged it onto the prime oscillator, onto our MVP oscillator. So all you have to do is go to more, add indicator strategy. I don't know why, but on some trading view accounts, when you type MA ribbon, you don't get this. But essentially, any moving average that allows you to select the length and the type will work. So for this case, we only need one. We set this to 144. So thanks to digital LRS, I know that the reason for why we set the length to 144 is because of Fibonacci. And the next important thing is changing the source all the way down. You want to go for the second to the last one, so it should be this plot right here. Then of course the style tab allows you to select the thickness, so I go with the second line, but feel free to go for a thicker line. It really doesn't change anything. It just helps with your ability to view it, and with that, you now have it right there. Yeah, of course. But yeah, man, how have you guys been? Because my weekend was just me getting over my ear infection. Okay, Bitcoin is dropping. So I guess this right here was the retest on the 5 minutes, but crazy to think you got a bullish div right here. Let me see who joined in. Oh, Tekwo. Welcome. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, that disappeared. Hey, Tekwo. It's been a while. Okay. Still got 30 minutes on the show. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna need some water. So our dispenser ran out of water, and I'm basically forced to go for bottled. But yeah, man, we've just been playing around here for the past 30 minutes. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 25 minutes. and we got an hourly close. So not that. Oh no, this is the 12 hour. What am I doing? Hourly close was bearish, or is bearish. It's not was bearish. It is bearish. That said, we might be able to get a retest at around 88. So potential. Oh no, I don't know if that would be great because we'd be at the lower extremity. Or we'll see what happens. Hey Sam, welcome to the show. I'm Langestrom, and if any of you guys have any coins you want me to look at, just let me know. Earlier we looked at SMR, XMR, so quite an interesting coin. I'm putting it on my radar. Okay, our Tau trade's alive, thank goodness. Render. Oh, I don't want to look at render right now. But okay, let's look at render with a fresh set of eyes. I don't want to look at render right now. So, with our fresh set of eyes on render, your 1 hour is oversold, and you did get an upward reversal triangle, and you got a ribbon twist. You also got bottoming bars, as well as the potential for a twist just like this. So, that could be a point of maybe another long, right? And if you do look, this kind of does look like a descending wedge. Maybe I'm coping, but that does look like a descending wedge to me. So these guys are more or less bullish because you basically have you're more likely to exhaust your move to the downside, so you want to head up. Granted, right? If we go to a higher time frame, let's see if it corroborates that idea. I mean, it does look like it could, right? Here on the 12 hour, you basically have an untouched FVG at starting at 1.76, but the most traded price is at 1.713. And by this point, you should be oversold as well. So, it does look like you could, or it is going to get some relief soon. But generally, I might have to call or make a signal to either DCA at 1.71 or just let it just run for a bit in drawdown. But when I was initially looking at render, it did look pretty good. But right now it's sort of in drawdown. That's my stop loss. 1.72. Yeah, I mean that's within your FVG, right? So it does look like it. I might tell people to either enter or DCA. Or like DCA enter. But let's look at how the other coins are performing. They're performing okay. I might scalp short Ethereum at around 3K. But we'll see how market conditions are when it gets to this point. So I'm just gonna set a couple alerts. But yeah. Actually, right now I'm actually really looking to scalp something at the moment but maybe late. But I'll do it later because I have to record it. Yeah, I gotta do some live recorded scalps on something which is gonna be a video which you guys can watch soon. So I'm working with both Alexes. What's the plural of Alex? Alexi? That's not just Alexi. Anyways, I'm working with Chart Prime to basically record it, and I'm gonna do it later. Yeah. Yeah. Stay tuned for that. Uh. See, how is BCH? Excuse me. Let's look at Bitcoin Cash. Interesting. So Bitcoin Cash got above the dynamic reactor here. I mean, traditional projections would tell you this is what it would do, but I don't think it will. But if you stay above the dynamic reactor, then there's a good chance. I'll just set an alert there. Oh. Slide to stop. Okay. Hey, Gabluth. It's been a while. Welcome back. Okay. Yeah, look at that volatility spike on BCH. Actually, let's look at some coins that used to be the talk of the town. Like Aster. Man, this would have been such a relatively easy short, but we weren't there. Let's get Zach. Huh. Zach's recovering. Ooh, but even if it is technically recovering, it doesn't look like it could sustain that. So, just set an alert at the dynamic reactor. Hey Furkan, welcome to the show. Okay, let's go back to BTC. Hey, Pillsbury. Pillsbury, the boy? Do boy? But yeah, welcome to the show. So there's still 15 minutes on the show, and right now we're sort of just watching uh, some coins. They're really sort of just playing around. It's really not making too much sense at the moment. But if if I'm able to make sense of this madness later, I'll let you guys know of any signals. Right now, I do have an idea on Ethereum, right? So this is an idea, not yet an endorsement. So for those who are new, I separate uh, I separate like projections during lives as ideas and endorsements. So an idea is just this looks like it could work, but I'm not entirely sure. And then an endorsement is okay. Let's actually do this trade. So right now this is just an idea. I'm thinking it could work. Maybe lower this slightly, just for a better RR. But yeah, I mean, it does look good from a scalping perspective. I might even try to record the outcome of this in 15 minutes. But yeah, let you guys know. I it does look good to me though. That's what uh that's what stock scalping samurai I was looking at earlier. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna get above this liquidity block and then get to 26 526 or 520, and then we can basically determine what happens there. Yeah, no, it's really no dice right now. Yeah, it does look like it, but with these things, I always wait for the close. At least when it comes to deciding to enter on a wick. But yeah. Although it does look good on the 5 minutes because it kind of looks like a double top. Right? Kind of like this right here. But something's really sketchy about it to me. I mean, based on my like system, this is a no trade right here between dynamic and quantum. But yeah, I think I'll just wait for the close in 40 minutes, and then I'll tell you guys if I want to go short on Ethereum, like a quick scalp. Mm, does look good though. Could have. Mm. Actually, might be worth longing silver. Maybe not. Excuse me. Okay, Binance has a longer history for it. PC. I'm going to stick to this idea, and I'll let you guys know through my channel if I think this is gonna pan out. So, Jad and Jaggy's right that there is a rejection to 2 candles on the 1 hour forming, which would also influence the 4 hour because it's gonna be 12 over here or GMT plus 8. So that will look like sort of a break in the trend line here for the 4 hour. That said, the reason I don't want to enter just yet is because of the candle close. It's just a rule I have for myself. And generally speaking, we haven't gotten a big rejection yet. Oh, Tau is crossing. Where is my Tau? Tau? No, we don't have Tau. Okay. So I think I'll let Tau run a little bit. I don't think it could possibly go down here, but I'm not sure about. I don't think it's gonna hit stop loss. Ethereum. It's still 30 minutes on the dot, but I'll let you guys know in 30 minutes if I'm if I'm gonna enter a market short on Ethereum. But yeah, with that said, it's been 1 hour. I'll probably also look at Aave then. With that said, it has been an hour 30 minutes. So thank you for joining me, guys. Stock Scalping Samurai, Eddie, Vamshi, Tekwo, Pillsbury the Boy, Raptor, T007. I'm sorry, your name's truncated. Malvi, Armac, McBain, Jad and Jaggy, Little Fish, Sam Dagaditi. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a 2-hour stream. With that said, once again, my name is Langestrom. Thank you for joining me, and always use a stop loss. See you guys.